So there's Mount Pleasant, and then there was up in Harbor Springs called the Holy Childhood of Jesuit Priest School. And the sad thing is that in Mount Pleasant, our reservation there, about half of the town of Mount Pleasant is located on the Isabella Indian Reservation, which is home to the Saginaw Ojibwe Nation. And oftentimes I will go and speak to universities and local schools. Nobody even knows that Mount Pleasant was a home to a Mount Pleasant Indian school. Both of my grandparents attended there. And the other thing is that my own brother and sister, who are only 5 years and 8 years older than I, attended the Holy Childhood School up in Harbor Springs. That particular school stayed open until the early 1980s. And one of the things that happened in Mount Pleasant is when we started meeting, there was originally a committee of about 5 of us, but it quickly grew because one of the things that we wanted to do was to walk. We wanted to have a walk that was from the tribal government's offices to the boarding school. This meant that we would, to accomplish this, would have to walk 5 miles. One of the first things that happened was people were like, well, we can't walk 5 miles, that's too far. And I was like, you know what, honestly, there's a lot of our Indian children in the past that try to run away from school. And oftentimes their homes were hundreds of miles away. The Mount Pleasant Industrial Indian Boarding School was home to not only Ojibways and Odawas and Potawatomis of Michigan, but also from Wisconsin and possibly as far as Minnesota. So there are a lot of marked and unmarked graves located near the boarding school in Mount Pleasant. And so we set out that we were going to walk 5 miles, that if our people who tried to run away from those schools could do it, then there is no excuses for us. The other thing that happened is that people said, well, we should walk on the sidewalks. And we said, no. We are going to take over one half of the road, and we're going to walk down one lane of the road all the way through the heart of Mount Pleasant, in front of the county, Isabella County building, and so we did. And the amazing thing is that for the first time in the history in Mount Pleasant, is that we had the city commissioners, the county commissioners, the mayor of Mount Pleasant, we had our tribal police, our city police, and our state police all working together to make this happen. And I don't know if really you could say in the history of America has a town come together to kind of rally behind this. And I know for myself, and I appreciated what Don said earlier about breaking that cycle of addiction. I can tell you that growing up, that alcohol and drug abuse was a big part of my family. My brother, he walked on about 8 years ago at the age of 37 from alcoholism. He attended the Holy Childhood School in Harbor Springs. And my sister went too, but one of the things that my sister just talked about in the last couple of weeks is that every night before she went to bed, she would always hear screams from the boys' side of the boarding school. Every night. And the other thing that came about was that she held a resentment and anger towards my mother because she felt like our mom, had abandoned her and rejected her because she was left at that boarding school. What she didn't know is that my mom and I had a conversation, and my mom acknowledged to me that when she had dropped off my brother and sister, that she cried all the way home. So for the first time, and my sister didn't realize that, she just told me, she goes, I never knew that. And for all this time, she held on to that anger and that resentment because, you know, she felt like my mom did this intentionally, and she didn't. But my mom also could not afford to keep and raise a family on her own because she was a single parent raising us three, so she made a choice to do that. Both my brother and sister had attempted treatment, substance abuse treatment, alcohol abuse treatment, and my sister was successful, my brother was not. But, you know, as I can tell you, and for the young men that are here too, that are raising families, you know, I'm a single father of three boys, 16, 13, and 8. And I really like what Don said, because I think one thing that they will never be able to share with another person is that they have seen their dad ever use alcohol or drugs, ever. And I made a decision for myself a long time ago not to do that, because I knew what it did to our people. I know how it was used to do a lot of destruction throughout American history with relations to the Native Americans here. I knew what it did to my family, I knew what it did to my community. And I was not about to make that same choice in my own life. So I really believe that the Creator, you know, led me on this path. And in our teachings, they say that the Creator knows our path before we do. So I really firmly believe that I was led along this way of social work and working for our people, trying to give back. It was just yesterday that we were a group of about 20 of us, 21 of us, representing the Saginaw Chippewa tribe. We just found out that we were going to come here. We wanted to come here, but we just got approval yesterday morning, and once we did, that was about a 13-hour drive. And we got in the vans and we took off, and now we're here. And the only bad thing is that all the women in the van make me drive the whole way. But we're here, and I really wish that every tribe, every recognized tribe here in North America, I wish there was at least one representative here from that tribe, because this is so important. And I really do believe that President Obama, I really do believe that if anyone is going to issue an apology to the people of North and Native North America, it will be President Obama. And we have seen him allocate, for health care, Indian health care, Indian health services. He's put a lot of dollars there. So basically, he has held true to his word so far. So, Don and Marlon and the rest of White Bison, we're honored to be here. We're honored to be a part of this. In Mount Pleasant, we had a very short time to really kind of put together a very quality community event. And we had over 400 walkers that walked the 5 miles. We had approximately 600 people participate in our event on the boarding school grounds. And so we had great cooperation. And I think from what I hear from Don and Marlon, that out of all of the stops that they made, it was the largest event by far that they witnessed and participated in. With that, I just want to say thank you, and we'd like to think that Mount Pleasant, the Saginaw Chippewa tribe, will have something to do with the success of White Bison, and hopefully with President Obama's issue of a formal apology soon. So, miigwech, and thank you for having us here.
Chief Miigwech, Brother Hunter Genia, Behavioral Health Administrator for the Saginaw Chippewa Tribe. It's a wonderful thing to see where our Native people